Walls, walls, walls. We're back in a very familiar territory as I just cannot make the progress I want in higher rank, meaning it's time to grind again. Welcome back, hunters, to another journal entry in my quest to become an Omni Hunter and get good at all of these weapons. Things were getting pretty good at the end of low rank, and I expected a little bit of a difficulty spike entering high rank, but I have been humbled. I have been humbled so hard where the game is like, stop your progress, get back into low rank, and grind out the million parts you need for your 14 weapons so that they're all upgraded and your multiple armor sets. This is the part that I have severely underestimated in terms of how much time it would take me to keep all of my equipment up to date. And I've shared this before in previous journals where this was definitely the part I underestimated or completely forgot when I made the pledge that, oh yeah, I gotta maintain all these armor sets. I know I have to grind at this point. I have been grinding parts, but I've also been trying to push forward the line of progression in high rank. So I'm in the first kind of sector of high rank. I don't know, I think that's 7 stars or something. And every now and then I'm knocking off a monster off the list. I'm like, okay, I could do that one, 10, 15 minutes, not bad. But then I met a crab, and this crab, oh, he bullied me. And it doesn't help that I introduced the help hinder system, which makes my chat either help or hinder me. And you can all take a guess at what the chat did right away. They, of course, hindered me most of the time. And then there's my own incompetence where I forget to eat or I forget to put ammo. So overall, it's a 7-layer cake of BS, pain, and suffering. But you know what? It feels exactly like my original world playthrough, and it makes the highs even higher despite the lows being so low. I'm learning, and that's what's important. And although this journal is going to cover 3 or 4 streams, and I was a bit on a high where I actually moved some of my grades, so you'll see on some of this stream stuff that I have a grade below each weapon. That's the chat that grades me when they feel that I have either improved or decreased in my skill with a weapon. And I'm happy to say there are 2 weapons I have I have improved with. One is the hunting horn, which I went from a D to a C, and the other is the insect glaive, which I'm very proud of. I went from a D to a whole freaking B. So huge progress on the insect glaive. Now, worth noting, I also lost a grade on the light bowgun from a C to a D, but I think that's just my chat. Also, based on your feedback, I have changed my weapon spreadsheet from showing the raw numbers to showing what state all of my weapons are. So I'm actually sharing with you the weapon I've crafted per stream so you can see the progression of my weapon choices on the spreadsheet. It's in the description here if you want to see. And the reason for this is I realized the raw damage number means absolutely nothing when you start talking about guns, hunting horns, and all that, because there's all these secondary things to those weapons, like what songs can you play with them, or what are their attributes and things like that. Even the bow, what kind of shots are they? So it's easier now to just say which weapon I'm crafting and which one I'm at, and you can kind of see the progression there. You can also see how close I am to actually having a properly equipped weapon for where I'm at. So last time I left you, we were about to enter the lance, and here it's all I've really had to kind of get down to. So I'm using triple arts. I've been juggling them a lot for the weapons, and I've decided that I'm going to start settling on one art now that I've dabbled in them. It's the only way I'm going to be able to focus and get good and build the muscle memory, because juggling arts on top of all these weapons just makes it freaking impossible to remember how to play them. So for lance, I'm going to stick to striker, and now I've pretty much learned about the 3 strike and shuffle. Or I have to say relearn, because I feel I say I'm learning this and then a journal later I'll forget about it. I'm like, oh, I'm learning this again. So anyways, yeah, I had to relearn the poke, 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 shuffle. And it took me a while, but I'm really happy with how this turned out. So I fought the Yankutku in a high rank, and I hope the editor here can show you guys the start of this fight where I'm getting hit and not playing well at all. Towards the end of the fight, where I'm actually attacking the Yankutku and landing more hits in a regular fashion of 3 pokes dodge, 3 pokes dodge. Now, I've also had a skill called Enrage Guard, which I pulled off by accident the first time. You have to basically parry to activate it, and then it makes the tip of your spear all glowy and stuff. So I think it does more damage. Other than that, Yankuku was a little bit of progress. Then I had to fight the, I don't know if I pronounced this correctly, the Gaiadrome. And there was also, I went to do a Baroth, and then this was the first time where people are like, you are using the wrong weapon. You have used your spear 3 times already. You have to rotate. So I had to abandon that quest and go over to the gun lance. But overall, with the lance, made progress in learning the poke, poke, shuffle, or the poke, 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 shuffle. Shifting over to the gun lance, I'm using the Astalos gun lance, And now I went into Baroth with the Striker. Didn't like that one as much, went back to Valor, and Valor is where I think I'm going to stay at home with my Gunlance. So I did Baroth, Kechawacha, and Tetsu. Not much to mention here because the Gunlance is still kind of hit or miss depending on the monster. Like with the Kechawacha, I was struggling a little bit, and then with the Tetsukabra, that was a much smoother play, like much smoother fight, because I actually enjoyed the Tetsukabra fight better. I kind of know the monster's patterns, and I could get in my, I think this one's 3 pokes and a blast, or 4 pokes and a blast, I forget off the top of my head. That one was fun. Then over to the Switch Axe. So this one here, I was using the Arzros Switch Axe, which inflicts poison. And by the end of the stream, I actually crafted my good old friend, the Dios Switch Axe, or whatever, basically the Brachydios one. So this one was, again, a combination of progressing as well as harvesting parts. So Gypsaros may knock that one out of high rank. Not much to say here outside of I tried the Tempest Axe skill on the Switch Axe, and this one threw me off because basically it's a skill that when you unleash, you get access to another ability while it cools down. And it's one that I've seen in World where it's like you go the whoosh whoosh with your axe, and then you do a flip and you land your axe down. And it took me a while to actually understand what Tempest Axe was and how to actually do it. But when I did, I was like, oh, I don't like this, because I think I was using the Valor mode. So you have to get up to Valor to like, this is one thing I don't like about GU is you can build a very unique play style if you know what you're doing, and like some moves are locked behind a skill, like say Valor, and then you can have another move unlocked behind the actual like art, which is, let's say in this case, Tempest Axe. So now you're managing not just your base weapons, gauges and files and all that, but you're managing 2 other bars of energy or whatever to unlock special moves. And so your fight and your play style has to adapt to, oh, how many, like, what moves do I have unlocked at this point of the fight? Okay, I got like my Switch Axe gauge is full, so now I can like use sword mode. Okay, now I'm in Valor mode, so I can use like this other ability. Oh, now I have got Tempest Axe. No, I gotta reduce the level of complexity. It's just too much for my brain, on top of managing the chat and managing everything else I'm doing on the on stream. So with Switch Axe, I actually ended this one with Adept mode, and I think Adept mode is going to be my home for Switch Axe. It just feels really good and natural to be able to dodge into monster attacks. In terms of maneuverability, that's what I really like about the Switch Axe. Not just that it feels like satisfying to like smack them with the axe and move around with the sword, but it's that maneuverability and dancing, which doesn't properly unlock until Monster Hunter World. But at least with Adept, I get a little bit more of that maneuverability that I'm craving. So after that, the help hinder system was properly introduced on stream. So you might see some parts where there's a wheel that viewers can use their cringe coins to spin the wheel, which inflicts things like removing my palicos, preventing me from eating. Anyways, you can see what's on the wheel. So going into Charge Blade, this one, I got a lot of progress, and I'm a little disappointed. Like, why didn't my chat upgrade me in my score? Oh, it's because I'm already at a B. So with the Charge Blade, I've started trying to make the Tigrex axe, and I really like Adept style. So Adept is the style that I tried using for Charge Blade for the first time. And this one here is all about charging your shield by like parrying the monster. And I was practicing on Tigrex. I know I'm gonna use Tigrex interchangeably. And it was just so satisfying to see him come at me and just go like boom, parry him with my shield. And then once the shield is charged, just going into axe mode and just like unleashing all of my axe moves on him. And then when he's coming at me, I can just dodge into him. So it's a combination of dodging and blocking that was just really satisfying. So Adept mode for Charge Blade felt great. This was also one of the fights where I had no palicos as part of my as a hinder, and I think that actually helped me because now Tigrex was all aggroing on me and I was actually able to like dodge or block him a lot more. And then I also got to try the Ripper Shield, which I think is something that comes back in Rise, where like you basically use like a pizza slicer and just like and it just like cuts up into the monster's face. Overall, had a lot of fun using Charge Blade in Adept mode here. This was great. After this, unlocked a whole new mechanism in Monster Hunter Generations, which is the supply drops. So the lab is now open. I'm collecting these burnt husks from Valstrax, and I was able to, basically, I haven't used it yet. This is going to be part of the help system that chat can redeem these supply drops, but now I can pretty much get a supply drop to come into my mission for extra items at one point in the fight. That's really cool mechanic. I like that. Afterwards was Insect Glaive, and this one was mostly, again, part farming. At this point, I'm trying to pretty much upgrade my other weapons, my armor, because I'm still using pretty much a low rank armor. And it just really clicked. So Insect Glaive, I've settled on aerial, and I really started understanding the ground combo, not just like jump, hit, but jump, hit, and when knocking him down, there's like a 5-part combo that just recycles into itself. And it's just so much damage to the monster. And I've also complained last time that I wasn't liking the extract for the bug. I found a skill that when it unlocks, you just shoot the bug and you get all 3 extracts at once, so that helps a lot. And I'm also getting a little bit quicker. Well, I think my bug is also getting a little bit quicker now that I've upgraded it. And I've realized that if it wasn't for the extract system that I don't like, this weapon would be way too overpowered in terms of damage. So the brief pause in damage that you have to have just to collect your extracts balances out the weapon a lot more, so I can appreciate the phase that I didn't like before. I was forced to do a naked hunt. Luckily it was with Insect Glaive, which I'm pretty good with now, and it was against a bull drone, so I did not struggle at all, even though it was a high rank bull drone, to be naked against them. And then finally knocked out a Royal Ludroth, progressing the game a little bit further. That too was pretty comfortable. Now after that, we went into so much pain. I probably had the worst stream of my Monster Hunter GU journey here. This was a stream with all range weapons, light bowgun, heavy bowgun, bow, and I played like garbage, and I tried to put myself up against monsters that were just too strong for me. So the stream started with me getting my light bowgun. I went against a Kezu with the light bowgun in Valor, and I learned that once you're in Valor, you can basically, after you shoot, you can hop 3 times and go like pew pew, and then you can do like a backflip and pew again. Love that mechanic. Light bowgun Valor is probably my favorite. And I thought I'd try it against Kezu, a monster I usually hate, but I've only fought with a melee weapon. And I was shocked, pun not intended, about how easy Kezu is with a ranged weapon. His attacks barely impacted me outside of his roar, and I just sat back and just like shot him, bounce shot. Like I just kept shooting him and he couldn't do anything to me. It was a long fight, which, you know, that's probably more about my aim or the level of my gun more than anything, but it was fun because I wasn't getting like shocked the whole time. After that though, starting a new stream, this is where it got bad. I decided to go after the Damio Heritor in high rank with my light bowgun, and I was a little too eager and I went in without bringing in my ammo. So I spent the first 10 minutes of that fight gathering ammo around the map. People were like, oh, you gotta commit. And I was like, all right, let's try this. And I did not, I had like level 1 ammo the whole time. I'm pew-pewing. I still have low rank armor on me. It was terrible. It was 35 minutes for the crab to finally cart me 3 times. Just terrible playstyle. I don't even want to talk about it. So then I went back, and then boom, Hinder system hits. One of the chat says, nope, no food for you. You don't get to eat. So anyway, I'm like, whatever. I got my ammo. I go back in, and it took 42 minutes to kill the crab. I killed it, but oh, was it painful. I was getting hit everywhere. I was just like shooting it. My ammo inventory was running low. I was just... So people said it was because I was hitting the wrong thing, that the crab just has bad hit zones, and I was hitting like the big shell, I was hitting the legs, and like I wasn't hitting him in the squishy part, which is I think its face. So overall it was just a really massive struggle, and I was just like 2 hours into my stream, I'm fighting this stupid crab, and it was just pain. Afterwards, got to upgrade to the heavy bowgun, and at this point I needed some Teostra parts, and I don't know why, but I decided let's go fight a Teostra with a heavy bowgun in Valor. It didn't go so well. This is hard because Teostra has like this fire shield most of the time that absorbs bullets, so you can't actually shoot its face. You have to shoot its tail or its legs, and he's facing you most of the time. So for me, it was a struggle to actually get access to anything I could actually shoot, and my supernovas kept missing. Overall, I timed out. It was a 35-minute hunt, and I did not do so well. So this was like on the coming back off of 2 crab hunts that were hard. Teostra that I timed out on, it was just, I was demoralized and I was not in a good place. So I went and just hunted Gypsyros and low rank to bully him. And after that, it was a bow. I switched from my Rathian bow over to the Hunter Stout bow to get better shots, because I forget, the Rathian bow was just not good because it used like the sniper shot or something, whereas this other one, the Hunter's bow, let me do a lot more different shots. And at this point, it was multiplayer because I decided I really needed some help grinding out all my parts. Like, I'm still in low rank armor. All of my weapons are just not upgraded, and I'm struggling. So in multiplayer we went. I'm trying to build the Buja Buja Boo armor set for higher rank. I've got 3 out of the 5 parts. I pretty much upgraded my defense by like 75 points, which is significant when I start at 150. So, you know, that's almost a 50% increase in defense. I've been punching up all of my weapons. So there's my great sword is actually pretty good. I went with the Rathian great sword. Long sword, not much here to mention. I upgraded it once, but nothing too great. The sword and shield was worth noting because I got to fight a tiny Gammoth, which was an event quest that someone picked for me. It was so cute, but it did so much damage. And I thought that afterwards that if you win this quest, you get to like have a baby Gammoth as a pet in your room, which I'm like, oh, that'd be so cool. But alas, no, Capcom didn't think that far. So yeah, then I kept switching over to dual blade, hammer, and this was pretty much just grinding out parts. I fought like a Gormagala so many times because I needed the feelers to upgrade the hammer. And I gotta say the hammer felt good too. I'm also gonna be sticking to Valor mode with hammer now that I kind of know what I'm supposed to do. So it's pretty much bonk bonk, and then you can like golf swing when you go to sheath. And once you're in Valor mode, you pretty much just combo your charge, which is a different way to fight. Another thing I did was my decorations. I had the parts to build attack decorations. So now I have attack up large with my Buja Buja set, which is pretty good. Just got to punch up the defense. Got to punch up the defense of my gunner set, which I need to build a whole new one for that. And my hunting horn set also needs to be moved over to high rank. So I'm now juggling 3 armor sets on top of having to grind out my 14 weapons. But we're getting more refined, like I said, with which skills I'm using. And for the next few streams, I'm just going to play multiplayer, get all the parts I need before progressing more, because higher rank right now just feels too big of a wall. And I just need to really get all of my stuff up to snuff for upgrades. And then I'll be back with some more updates as I progress in my skill. Because honestly, my average score, like my report card, is a lot of D's and C's. So I don't think that's going to carry me through Bloodbath Diablos very well. So got to keep pushing the skill, got to keep getting the grind going. So if you want to join in on multiplayer, that's what we're doing for a while over on twitch.tv/HGOfficial. I will see you there. Hopefully I won't be struggling as much the next time I see you all here on this journal series. But we'll see how things go. Until next time, keep it classy.